I wish I could hear what's going on down there, like the cops. I got to turn the golf down. I don't think I'm going to be able to get YouTube because we're over downtown. All right, so we are live right now, so I know that. And if anybody's wondering who's in the helicopter, it's me. And I'm just going to let you guys know this is not a open mic type of situation, like, oh, I don't know that I'm live. I know that I'm live. We're watching this together. We're seeing what's happening. This is actually one of the many raids that have been happening out in the Los Angeles area. Actually, this one is, what's the backside of town? This is off of Sanford. So they raided this, this is a showroom, and that's going to be the front of it. We can't really see it right now, but there's nothing going on there. So there was a lot going on there earlier on. So they raided this location this afternoon, and they also raided the headquarters, and they also are in downtown. Now, everything that was happening in the headquarters one is already wrapped up, as we understand it. They went in, we saw them take 5 people away, and a lot of paperwork. They took a lot of paperwork away. This one is a little bit more, let's just say, it's a tighter spot. That's the best way to put it. And there seems to be a larger group out here. Now, the guys that you're seeing down there in the camo, that is not National Guard. That is not the Army. That's FBI wearing tactical gear. So that's what you're seeing right there. This is the area that they raided. Now, I don't know for a fact, but I believe that they're done. I don't know what the kerfuffle is right now that's going on right here. You can see a bunch of armored vehicles had arrived. You can see a number of the FBI just kind of, in the street with the crowds. And there's like little spots where I think there's confrontation. There's a lot of middle fingers, and I understand that this is on the internet, so I can show you this stuff. A lot of middle fingers, probably a lot of words being exchanged as well. And I don't even think they're being exchanged. I would venture to say that the FBI probably not saying anything back. They just kind of are there as a whipping post for the public. And so you can see that the small skirmish line right there. I don't know if everything's wrapped up and they're starting to retreat. This is kind of it's done or what. The guy in the yellow hat definitely has a lot to say. Somebody just threw something. I don't know what that was about. It was supposed to maybe towards the officers. It kind of landed more over by yellow hat. There's another yellow hat over there, so let's not get them confused. But it seems like the crowd is leaving now. And again, I'm not sure. Are there detainees inside that vehicle? Is that what this is all about? Or is that just FBI getting their people out of here? But definitely this one it looks like it's coming to an end, as it seems like the FBI did what they needed to do and now are retreating. There goes that bag again. I don't know what that's all about. Some more water bottles being thrown at the crowd. Again, it's like I'm just reporting on it. I'm not giving commentary. We're just watching this together. A lot of cell phones, a lot of angry folks out there, and again, we're just watching as these FBI agents are making their way out of here, leaving the ambient showroom, Was it ambient? What was the name of the place again? Ambiance. The ambiance showroom. So this is where it actually, this was the first one we went to. And whatever they were doing inside there was taking quite a long time. And we went our way over to the headquarters, which is still in downtown, but a distance away. And there was a kerfuffle out front as well. Not quite this type of crowd. Definitely not this type of crowd. It did get a little confrontational, physical, definitely got physical as they were trying to get the vans in to take the officers and the detainees away. We saw 5 people being detained. I can't tell you the number here. Oh, look at that. It's like the tank. Then there you go. Yeah, there you go. Excuse me, sir. Could you please move out of the way? So, well, then. Ran over a scooter, that's for sure. Some more people standing away. And this is the thing also, it's like if you don't want them here, maybe we should be leaving. You know, maybe you should let them go. I never really quite, and we always watch it from up here, so I never really quite understand the mob mentality. You'd think that they'd want the FBI out of there. You'd think they'd want the law enforcement out of there instead of standing up in front of it. But again, it's kind of slowing down, coming to a stop once again. Oh, somebody tossed a smoke grenade. There we go. Somebody's throwing fireworks. That's definitely not law enforcement stuff. That's fireworks. But that canister. And there's a drone. Wow. That's what I'm saying. It's like you'd think they just want them to go, but are they? They're making they're clearing the way. The smoke grenades are, I mean, I'm sure if you're standing next to it, it could be painful, but it seems to be ineffective. There they go. There they go. Yep. Somebody's got quite a strong arm to throw those pallets like that. Another law enforcement vehicle. I don't know where that one was from. Another law enforcement vehicle. Maybe they're running them out of town. Maybe that's what they feel like. Like, we just ran you guys out of town. Don't come back. Anyways, whatever this is coming to a conclusion right now. FBI, law enforcement making their way out of here. This was in downtown Los Angeles. Ambience is where the showroom is where all this was taking place, right here. This is the point. Don't know how many people they took into custody out of this place, but clearly it was an ICE raid. LAPD did not help on this one, and they tend not to. Again, staying away from anything and everything and just giving you guys the facts. They tend to stay away from all of these things. We did see them. Okay. But it's kind of come to an end. Now I'm talking to my assignment desk. Melissa, you can see it. It's kind of come to an end. Pardon me? I should play it back? Or they are? Me? I should play it back or they are? Oh, they are. Okay, cool. Thank you. Sorry, Melissa. I got the golf going on in the other ear. I can't turn it down. So the front of the store is completely empty. There's nothing going on there anymore. Sanford still's got some activity going on right there, but it's also starting really to wane. Camera crew out in the roadway. Excuse me, sir, you're in the middle of the road. You're blocking traffic. Somebody get hurt? Is that what's going on here? I can say that earlier on, we had when we were first at the Ambience showroom, there was a woman up against the glass, and again, you know, we just don't know because we're not down there. But the emotion that was being portrayed by this woman made you think that perhaps somebody inside the store that was being detained was a family, because it was a lot of emotion, and it wasn't just for a moment or two. She was up against that glass the entire time, and I could venture to say that this is all, you know, definitely very, very heartbreaking and very emotional for, you know, people that are directly involved. And then we saw something like that as well at the headquarters, because there was somebody over there that was, you know, going up to the fence, and that situation looked a lot different. There was a lot of, how can I word it? It was more civil. There was communication between the agents and the communication between the agents and the people that were coming up to the gate. Before, even after the kerfuffle that happened over there, there was communication. There were people over there talking and communicating. There was actual communication. It wasn't, you know, just middle fingers being thrown and people yelling and pushing and shoving. They actually were talking to those people. And I guess, sad to say, it probably was somebody was checking on a loved one, and they were getting information about where they or how they could contact the loved one, or if they can contact them. I have no idea how any of that stuff works. Pardon me? Oh, Sandra, we're going live again? This is over. Sandra, I'm going to let you have this whole one. I'm not going to say a word this time. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. I got a little bit of internet. I can read some of the comments. See, it's... Wow. That one was rude. Well, I don't. There's Jesus or Jesus 11. You know, I the emotions. It doesn't make any difference. I mean, if you're in, I don't know, if your loved one is getting deported, yeah, that's kind of, that's something to be emotional about. I mean, yeah, I understand, who knows? I mean, maybe it does work out for the best, but you just don't know. At the moment, it's not good. They reopened the streets, right? Yeah, clearly. No. I don't know. Let me ask. Hey, assignment desk. Did they make their way maybe back over to the Home Depot? Other media other media helicopters. Oh, standing by. We're going live. Never mind. Everybody went to the convention center. We're standing by. Well, Sandra, right now it seems like the crowds have dispersed. Well, Sandra, we were actually seeing the tail end of this. Now there was a huge presence out here of FBI agents in camo gear. Basically, when we first arrived, I first thought was, did somebody call out the National Guard? Because they were dressed in full camo gear, and they looked like the Army had arrived out here. The crowds were huge, and they were on the street. This is going to be on Sanford, near the cross of 9th Street. This is going to be the backside of the Ambience showroom, where one of those raids had gone on earlier this morning. We did the breaking news later on at their actual headquarters. They had a raid there as well, where there was a crowd, but not quite the size that was here. Now, those officers from the FBI, they showed up in armored vehicles, and they actually escorted everybody, as meaning their folks, out of here. This roadway was filled with people, and they were trying to block the trucks. There was things being thrown. Actually, somebody was throwing a pallet. I don't know how strong strong you have to be to throw a wooden pallet, but there was actually a wooden pallet being thrown. Some of those armored vehicles, they had folks getting in their way, trying to stop them, other officers getting out of the other vehicles and moving them physically, and they actually were running over some of their scooters trying to get out of here. As far as injuries go, we haven't seen any. We have not seen the ambulances or any ambulances arrive since they've left, but this is what's left over after all the FBI had made their way out of here. This is the crowd that's still kind of milling about as it would be. As far as the confrontation part of it, that part is over. Whoever they took into custody, and the number, we don't know either how many people were taken out of this location, but they have clearly did take some people out of here. That number we don't know, but they can see that their traffic is reopened, but very slow and go through here. The crowd's still out here, but as far as law enforcement, all of the activity of the ICE agents has come to an end because they've gotten what they came for, apparently, and they have left the area. Definitely. Oh, definitely. The crowd was very upset, and some of those were fireworks that we were seeing down there were actually smoke grenades being thrown by the FBI agents, maybe as a distraction, maybe as, I don't really know what the smoke bombs were supposed to be doing. They weren't, they were somewhat effective, but they basically were trying to disperse the crowd as the armored vehicles were trying to depart the area. But you're right, there were people down there setting off fireworks, creating havoc. We did see a bunch of water bottles being thrown, and some, if not physical confrontations, but verbal confrontations, where the crowd was coming up to the officers, basically trying to tell them how they're feeling about the situation verbally, and with some gestures as well. But as far as physically, we haven't seen much of that. We didn't see any of the officers having to pick anybody up or push anybody out of the way. There was a little pushing and shoving when they were trying to leave. We did see that, but they were just trying to get the folks out of the way of the vehicles so the vehicles could depart the area. Right now, though, this crowd just kind of hanging out here behind the ambience showroom off of Sanford. There's a lot of media still down there. Maybe they're talking to the media, but you can see that it's starting to disperse. As far as LAPD goes, though, we haven't seen any at this location. The helicopter is definitely here. They're keeping an eye on it. They want to keep the public safe. That's the reason why they showed up at the other location, was to keep the public safe, because they were starting to block some roads and there was starting to be some real physical confrontations. But for the most part, this one in downtown is starting to end, or coming to an end. That one was the one where the van was trying to get into the facility. Now, we're not sure if that van was there to remove or help remove the officers that were conducting the raid, but when that vehicle was trying to get in there, they started to block it, and then officers came out of the facility, and they physically, one person they physically picked up and tossed out of the way, but there was somebody else, and now this is all unconfirmed, but there was apparently the reason why they took that one person into custody is somebody said that person had a weapon. So they're not sure if that's any of that was confirmed, but that person that you're seeing right there in cuffs being taken out from the crowd and separated, that person apparently may have had a weapon, and that was the reason why they separated that person and took him into custody. There was some pepper spray being sprayed there as well. The fire department was called. They did show up, and they did. We saw what we believe to be the treatment for pepper spray. They were putting water on that person's eyes, trying to help him out. But that crowd definitely was also very agitated at the fact that that van showing up, going inside that facility, possibly there to pick up some of the detainees, possibly there to bring some of the law enforcement agents to wherever they go after they're done with this. That one, we did see a lot of officers out there taking out paperwork as well. It wasn't just taking out the people or persons. They were actually in there and they were taking a lot of paperwork out of there as well. That might have been the reason why we saw that large number. We didn't see that type of number at this location off of 9th and Santee earlier on. We saw a lot less of that type of activity here. But then when those officers wanted to leave, that's when things started to change. That's when the crowd got extremely large and extremely confrontational. And I believe that's when they brought in all those extra armored vehicles and those officers to get their officers and the detainees out of this area safely. Okay. We're moving. It's on the screen. Oh no. Skyvox TOC.
Stu, I believe you can hear us now. Tell us where you are.
Yes. Well, we actually made our way to where that caravan of armored vehicles and FBI agents that Sam was watching down there on the ground, that must have been just unbelievable to be around. And those flashbangs, I'm sure they are extremely loud. That's what they're designed to do. But this is where they are, where they might have staged out of, and now they have come back to. This is going to be the CHP office for the downtown Los Angeles area, very close to Washington and Cherry. They actually have this also kind of cordoned off, and some of these officers from the federal, from the FBI, they're not really letting down their guard. They're just making sure that everything is safe. You can see a number of them out there putting that crime tape back up on that road that takes you into the California Highway Patrol office, and this is the area where they're basically staging out of. But you can see that a lot of the number of officers that are still down there, and the tactical gear that I was talking about that they're wearing, and of course all the armored vehicles that they brought out there to get their own people out, and then also get the detainees out of that area into downtown where Sam was on the ground just moments ago. But you can see right now that it's all kind of coming to an end. These officers are basically just, taking their gear, basically just bringing this to an end. But you can see the number of vehicles that were out here. And like Sam said, they definitely came prepared, and they were very professional about it. There was a lot of confrontation. We could even see it from Skyfox, a lot of verbal, and like I said, some visual confrontation as well. Those officers keeping their composure the best they could, and just doing their job, trying to get out of there safely. And of course, they don't want to hurt anybody in this situation, but when public starts putting themselves in danger, like in front of those vehicles, they have to actually physically move them out of the way for everybody's safety, and that might have been what was going on. You can see a lot of those officers right there in those vehicles. They basically got here, they're getting in other vehicles and going to whatever bases they have, but this is the area where they came to directly after leaving where Sam is in downtown off of 9th Street.
It's a big operation, and I was saying these federal agents, before they conduct raids like this, especially simultaneous ones that are at multiple locations, a lot of planning goes into this. You could see all the personnel involved in this. This was a choreographed, orchestrated event. They definitely knew what they were doing, where they were going, where they were targeting. So this is something that's quite a scene here, and this has started basically in the 9-10 o'clock hour this morning, and now you're basically seeing the tail end of it.
Definitely the tail end of it, and it's something too. I mean, this is what we do, and we're just reporting the facts. We're up here, we see it, but look at the resources that they brought out here, and how many people did they take into custody, and is it going to be like this every time? It's just something really to think about for the public and also the government. Sending it back to you, Sandra.
Yeah, we'll have much more as we learn more details about these federal raids that took place across the downtown LA area. We'll have much more on Fox 11 at 5. Thanks for joining us with this breaking coverage.
Okay, Kabi.